This is National Ballot Measures 2024, Living Democracy, by Michael Mathiesen and narrated by Michael Mathiesen. Introduction. Because our politicians like to use the word democracy so much, most people are duped into thinking that the United States is the world's greatest example of a real democracy. It is not a true democracy. It is a half democracy, a half-baked, half-tyrannical form of government. I can say this because I've noticed in my long life that every time a major problem comes up in America, our elected officials talk to us on TV like they fully understand the problem and they sympathize, and they're going to resolve it soon if we'll just have a little more patience. But they're always interfered with by some people who are paid by various industries to go to their offices, give them money, and tell them how to vote in the best interests of their industry bosses. Poor babies! In the end, no problems actually get solved until they have already done all the damage that they could have if no one did anything. And then we're off on the next cycle of problems that also never get solved in time to prevent harm to the American people. After they pass these ridiculous laws that are intentionally thousands of pages so that no one reads them and contradict each other all over the place, and make absolutely no legal sense, and have no teeth, and no enforcement, if it becomes public that their lawmaking did no good for the people whom they were elected to represent, they make excuses that they couldn't really do anything effective because the other party prevented it by filibustering, or the leader wouldn't allow it on the floor to even be voted on. Poor babies! Lately, this has become so obvious that Congress has had to expel members or have them referred to criminal trials because they were too blatant and obviously corrupted, like a recent case where the Congress member was caught actually taking money and gold bullion from foreign governments and then voting for laws that helped that foreign nation or ruler. Others have been thrown out of office for simply lying to the American people. And this is rare. You have to be an obviously big old liar to get ejected for this one because, incredible as it may seem, lying to the American people by a government official is not a crime. They very conveniently have made it a crime for a citizen to lie to the government. U.S. Code 1-800 Section 1000, to name it exactly, wherein it's a felony and you can go to jail for 10 or more years if you lie to the government. But the government officials have no such law on the books today that makes it a crime for them, the government officials, to lie to us. This problem of corruption in government is an age-old problem, and one that can only be solved by allowing the people to put proposed laws on the ballot and then giving the voters the right to pass or reject them on the next federal ballot. The very first national ballot measure should be to make it a felony for any government official to intentionally lie to the American people, with a strict penalty of 10 years in prison if convicted. Of course, we must have the authority granted to the citizens of the United States to do all these things, and that can only be by an amendment to the Constitution, which I have included in the next section. This is copied from the California Constitution that has allowed us Californians to use this very democratic process to control our government and get the kind of laws we must have as citizens of California. Most everyone has heard of the very famous Proposition 13, passed decades ago here in California by the voters and placed on the ballot by the voters, and it's
Sample complete. Ready to continue?